He doesn't look very happy, so I hope he's okay.
You do wonder if perhaps he just tweaked something, or maybe he was carrying a niggle going into the tournament and he's slightly exacerbated that here with the 8-4 lead. I think they've got a little bit of wiggle room if he does need to take a rest, but still not a good sign going forward for Tartu to have one of your key players have to go off.
Tartu have now worked it up to their attacking brick mark just about, trying to get another point on the board. This would be a hold for them.
Yeah, the second possession of the point, squeezing it into Terra down the line, couple of meters away from the goal line. Has to go back on the reset, finds Teda, and now Lori Loritz.
Sky that's doing a good job of forcing a lot of passes, not allowing the scoring possession. That one goes to goal, though, and Tartu count it as Kai Diveska gets another point for herself for Tartu.
Yeah, her second goal of the game. Just a little bit of outside in shape on it, pinged in to her midriff for the score. It's going to be 9-4 now to the Estonians.
And I'm being told, Benji, we are now live. We got a video feed, so be able to see a little bit more of the action here. Sorry for that to all of our fans back home. Tartu here 9-4 up, sorry, in this first match here of the EUCF pool play in the mixed division.
Yeah, this is Pool B, so as well as these two sides, you also have Deep Space, the reigning champions, who are top of the pool, and also sitting in between these two in the middle, I believe, is I was going to say Nulacht, and now I haven't backed myself on that. I need to double check. Thankfully, I wrote the preview article. It is Nulacht, the Germans from Münster, who also make up the pool, the 9th seeds this weekend. Sky This came in seeded 13th, and Tartu finished the regular season in 7th spot.
Sorry to correct you there, Benji. It's Seski, not Deep Space, at the top of this pool.
Oh, you're right. It's Pool C, not Pool B.
So that's Seskidistis, Tartu Turbulence, Nulacht, and Sky This that are Pool C. And that Seski versus Tartu game, I think, will be a great one to watch to see who can top that pool and get a shot straight to quarters. I know Seski is missing a few of their O-line players, Sasa Potsokolski not coming here at this tournament, so we'll see if Tartu can take advantage of that.
That throw into the turf. Tartu won't mind. Lemba. Looking down the far sideline for Leet. Terra, is it going to be past the bidding player? No, able to get a piece and a hand on it. Kinga Shimchak making her presence felt defensively. Rud now finds Shimchak. Throws a little bit low. I think struggling now with it just getting wet. I think it's worth taking a couple of extra seconds just to make sure you're getting any excess moisture out of the rim of the disc.
Side.
Yeah, now Rud. They're working it quite nicely down the field. The timing and synchronization was good, but it slipped through Mashinsky's grasp. I'm going to have a little extended stoppage here, just to allow Deskur to tie his laces.
Actually not allowed in the rules, Benji, on a turnover. Play does not stop.
Yeah.
But just being a little friendly here in these conditions, I think.
Yeah, consider it a courtesy call, I think. Yeah, you can extend a stoppage, but of course a turnover is not necessarily a stoppage. Tartu's D-line trying to find something and try to really pump the flick into the wind, and it turned straight away out of the hand.
Yeah, Liliorg not able to get his hands around that one. Liliorg not wearing gloves. I've always said in the rain, people should just be wearing gloves.
Yeah, but he looks less cool if he wears gloves, and that's the important thing.
Does it look less cool than that throw, Benji? Because that throw didn't look very cool.
I don't know. He played it into space down the sideline for the score.
That
you mean the
cool.
previous throw?
The previous throw that Liliorg.
Yeah, okay, I see. I see your point. I think just get good, to be honest. As that time, Rude picked up, had that isolation, plants in, goes away, and the blade well weighted over the head of Lemba and in to Ben Deskur for the score. It's going to close the gap back down, 4-point lead for Tartu at 9-5.
So Sky this doing a bit better than their Polish counterparts, Savage Ultimate, who are down 10-3 to Reading. Live scoring around the field's not totally up, but there's two games going on. We see 6-6 Moon Cup and Jet Set Love, the Belgian matchup in Pool A from the women's division.
And that, on the face of it, is a little surprising. But when the two played at Elite Invite, Moon Cup did win that one on Universe. And I think I'm going to roll out some cliches here. With those derby games, when it's a team you know so well, quote unquote, you can throw the form book out the window because you just seem to have that slightly inner knowledge a little bit more, and it does really, yeah. You kind of have that extra little mind games going on out there.
So Sky this managing to do well this half, I think getting all their holds in. We see the blade pull there.
I think just try and keep it in bounds, see if maybe they have a little bit of error fielding it, but it's going to come to a stop pretty much bang on the brick mark. Terra initiates underneath as the first option. Into the centre, that was read all the way. Smart defense there from Mateusz Dida. Desker's crossed over to play some defense. Well, now offense, of course, after the turn.
Mateusz Dida there, the 42-year-old. It's actually a very young Sky this side with a lot of players between 16 and 20. But Mateusz is one of the older lot on this Sky this roster.
Just a sprinkling of experience in there. I think always helps a little bit. So you have someone you can call on in crunch and pinch situations who's been there before. Raba bounces with Loritz. Terra pumps, keeps hold of it, and instead goes short. Now they're finding that little seam through. Nice patient disc movement. Terra wants to get it off the line, and the defender flashing across there. František Gerus just did enough to put him off.
That's another throwing error by Terra. Sky is going to call timeout here as they realize the importance of this moment. If they can get this break, they'll be back in the game. Yeah, but Terra just a little bit off. Her cutting is fantastic. Her spacing is great, but just a little bit off on her throwing options. Not really seeing poaches, and Sky that's taking advantage of it.
Yeah, we'll see what they cook up then during this timeout. First round action at the Elite Invite. Mixed Division pool play. Tartu leading 9-5.
On October 14th, 2024, the first ever World Beach Ultimate Club Championships will take place in Portugal. Follow the over 600 games as the scores update live online. And with free streaming from the Ulti TV arena, you can catch your favourite teams on your phone or from the comfort of your couch. Don't miss any of the action from Portimao.
EUCF, the European Ultimate Championship Finals then from Oostende in Belgium. Tartu Turbulence, the Estonians, taking on Sky this Warszawa. And Tartu in control in this game, but a break chance here would be the Poles' first of the game where they're able to convert. Benjiris and Ravi Vasudevan with you. And talk me through this offensive setup off the turn.
Looks like they're going for a traditional horizontal stack. I'm guessing they're going to have two cutters, probably the two right in front of the disc. I would get Deskur and 32. That's Lucina Zachowska to initiate, but we'll see if they agree with my assessment of how to run this play.
Feels like they're set up quite far away.
We only went live probably 10 minutes ago. We know. Okay, good. Now the other stream live as well.
Break backhand. Finds Deskur, able to get the disc moving then off the timeout, which often is one of the hardest things to do with the defense specifically countered to your setup. Leads Deskur to space, good positioning. Good angle on the throw. Now Gerus. Try to trap him on the line, or pivoted to come into the backfield, but the throw had already gone. You wonder if Loritz is going to pull the trigger. He really thought about it. In the end, just going to get back into his own end zone.
And you do see here the Estonian side playing without Tom. It's going to make things a little trickier for them as there's another poach block from Sky this.
Deskur read that well and got just enough on it to prevent it going into Terra's breadbasket as the player's down in the end zone here for Sky this.
I'm really impressed with Sky this ability to poach the lanes on defense and read Estonia's play. I think maybe Estonia's getting a little bit too predictable. We do see Mateusz Dida, the 42-year-old, come off on a, looks like a banged up knee. A bit of contact there in the end zone. And we got the Ruud, who's been playing extremely well this game, coming in for him, as now Skydice have a very good opportunity just a few meters outside their end zone.
If they are to win this game, you really have to be converting this opportunity. It's a massive crane fire lands on the outside of our tent. Ruud. All sorts of pressure on his back, but still makes the catch. Gets it off. Back to Desker. At time sold the up line. Went back into the backfield. Jadachevska on the break. Finds Ruud. Sky this Warszawa are beginning to mount a comeback in this second half. They still trail 6-9, but things nicely poised at the moment.
I was really happy here with this dump cut here from Jana Senicek. That really opened things up, and then now the pass over the top from Jaszowska over to Ruud, coming in off the injury timeout, out the injury sub, sorry, and really making his presence known here. And that's a great point from Sky this. Really confident handler movement, playing through the whole team, and punching in a break. You'd love to see it.
Yeah, weren't able to get it done cleanly necessarily, but they earned themselves another turnover. Again, through intelligent, just pressuring on those lanes. And then with the short field at the second time of asking, they did get the job done, utilised the break side options well. Only 3 points down now, 9-6, and they are making a game of this.
Yeah, I think what they're doing really well is that Tartu seems to clear deep, and I think Skydice are not respecting that. So if you see your player make an undercut, they go to clear deep. They're always staying in the lane, watching for an extra second, and they're able to jump into those next undercuts, and they've caused a couple of turnovers that way. So I'm really happy with that from Skydice. If I was Tartu, I'd maybe think about clearing in a different way, clear in a way that makes it so that your defender has to respect where you're going. An adjustment Tartu's going to have to make.
Branchkiewicz with the pull. Tartu just taking a couple of short passes. Downfield player set up quite deep, and it's another short field turn. A drop on the reset.
Huge moment and opportunity here for Warsaw. Can they step up to it? This would be 2 breaks on the bounce, and then you'd have Brilli and Tartu's heads.
Maciej Latvinsky takes on the break, and it's pinged off the hand of Mateusz Rankiewicz, and a good opportunity goes begging.
Yeah, and if Tartu walk away with this game by the end, they're really going to want that one back. That was such a golden opportunity that they just gave away with an errant pass, and now Christian Loritz, the sure hands, goes with the Tartu horizontal stack set.
Little just leading dish there for the handler running through, and another drop from Tartu. Everything's going wrong at the moment.
If I'm Tartu and I get this disc back, I'm hucking it. We got to stop turning it over with this close to the end zone.
And you've got plenty of athletic receivers who might have a chance of tracking it down anyway.
But Tam's still not back on the field, one of them that I think they like to shoot deep to.
Litvinsky taking the reset back. And the throw offline there from Alexandra Nisluchowska. There is the deep shot that you called for. Oh, tipped again. Is it going to drop for someone? It does, right into the hands of Daniel Tader, who was not the intended target, but Tartu don't care at the moment as they put it deep, and they get the job done that time. It was messy in the extreme from Tartu, but in the end, it stuck, and it stuck in the hands of a familiar target for them, Helen Terra.
Yeah, Helen Terra cleaning things up there, but it was all Daniel Tader who saved that point for Tartu as a wayward pass was saved by him that way in the middle. It's not what you like if you're Tartu. You don't really want to be scoring that way if your eyes are on quarterfinals, semifinals here at EUCF, but in these conditions, you have to be happy to win ugly.
100%. I think a lot of where teams stand at the end of day one will be who is willing to, maybe drop their principles or at the very least adapt them a little bit and say, you know what? The most important thing is just getting the job done. It doesn't matter if it's clean. It doesn't matter if it's pretty. As long as we're scoring more than our opponent, that's the important thing. 10-6 now, the score. What's going on the field behind us, Ravi?
Well, actually, Bristol is up 10-7 on the 3-seeded 3SB, who a lot of people talked about maybe being a bit overseeded, and Bristol may be proving that correct right now.
As well as that, I think given the conditions, I think a lot of people thought that might play into 3SB's game plan, but so far at least it's not proving that.
Still a little bit of game clock left, so we'll see if 3SB can turn that around here. We're at 10-6, Tartu above Warsaw.
Yeah, 3SB were actually up early in that one, but Bristol have really roared back. Sings the blade away. That's a ambitious shot to take on. And Tartu showed that they had no time for it.
And this is what you don't want to do in these conditions, is difficult swing passes that don't gain you a lot of yards. It's just so risky here, and you don't gain any field position either. You'd much rather turn it over further down the field.
If it's short, it's got to be safe. Don't mind taking on risky passes, but you've got to be more... the risk-reward, I think, has to be more skewed in your favour than that.
Yeah, so safe passes close to the disc, and if you want to put your risks, put them on away shots. Don't risk a swing.
Got to run through the cost-benefit calculations in your head. Sorry, Ravi.
You see here a big wall of basically 4 players from Tartu, just preventing all of those huck options from going up, forcing into a million swings and knowing that a mistake will come, and here it pays off for them. It's a great strategy there from Tartu.
I wonder if the wind's beginning to pick up a little bit now, which makes those zones even more effective. You can see how wet it is by the rain spots on the camera. Shooting down the sideline with air underneath it. Cloud of bodies in the area, and it comes down in Sky this hands. Litvinsky swings to Ruud. Really fired that one in there, and you can see wringing the hands out after Maslanska.
Now, even that pass, it did gain you like 5 meters, but if you have to ping it that hard, just put it deep. It worked for Tartu earlier, and I think you really got to start throwing your traditional ultimate fundamentals out the window in these conditions right now.
Beautiful inside break, but dropped. The spanner there from Ingmar Norman. It's one of those, I think because it's tricky to get purchase on the disc in these wet conditions, then certainly I think you feel like you really do have to fire the disc, but of course it makes it so difficult to hatch, especially when your hands are going to be cold. Throwing with touch and finesse is going to be huge in these conditions.
He's just checking to see if the European Ultimate Federation has a gloves partner. It seems they do not. So friction gloves, layout gloves, whichever company, get yourselves down to Oostende. I think you could sell a few pairs.
I think there's definitely opportunity for an enterprising businessman to do such a thing. It's like when sales of sand socks mysteriously go up every big beach tournament. Did superbly to get in position, tried to snatch that with the right hand, but I don't think ever truly had control of it. And Tartu looking to strike quickly, spearing it into the end zone, onto the big man, Timo Ilves, and Tartu have re-established that 5-point lead. Another break for them to avenge the one they gave up to Sky this early in the half, and then now 11-6 to the good with just under 20 minutes of game clock left.
Yeah, looking good here for Tartu late in this game, and they're going to want that as they want to go further into this tournament. Sky this again, I think throwing too many difficult passes in that dump space, in those short unders. They need to throw safe passes there and tough passes away because they keep giving Tartu too good of field position. We do see the flags have shifted, so I do think it is upwind going this way. Challenging for sure, but you gotta find a way to make it a little more difficult.
Can you give us a little bit of an overview of what else is going on at the moment, Ravi?
I would love to do that, but the live scoring is not really fully in swing at the moment. There's only a couple games out there. We do know Moon Cup is up 9-8 against Jet Set Love, and Reading Ultimate against Savage Ultimate. Their Sky This' Polish counterparts 12-6 right now. We'll see if I can get my eyes on the other stream at some point and see how it's going with Bristol versus 3SB.
Yeah, there are, I think it's just mixed and women's games going on at the moment. The first round of open action, I think, starts next game slot.
Bristol have gone up one more point since last time we checked in. They're up 11-7 on the checks from 3SB.
You mentioned elsewhere in this pool is Seskidistus and Nullakt, the Germans. They will be playing at the moment, I believe.
Yep, the score is not being updated yet, so we cannot, if we find anything out about that, I'll let you know.
Sky, this pickup. Looking at an Estonian zone, a little bit of float on that one, but not really a problem for Madej. Deskur. So they've really slowed down the Polish offense here, which I think is exactly the plan. Don't give them easy options downfield. Make them have to continually move the disc in the backfield and just keep that pass count high, because in these conditions you can really coax out an error.
Yeah, Sky that's making a lot of passes just now at the attacking brick mark.
Stayed patient until they could put the foot on the gas. And whoosh, Szymczak loses her footing there. Good to see that she's okay, because those can very easily go nasty. And in the end, just a short little punch in to Franciszek Gerus for the Sky this score.
Nice, confident downwind hold there for Sky this, but now with these conditions, they're going to have to get quite a number of upwinds. But, you know, once you get that one upwind, it can be a 3-point swing. But they got to find a way to force Tartu to turn it close to the end zone. They need a big pull here. I'm not sure which gender match is coming up right now, but they need a big pull and need to stop Tartu in the other half, in the half they're attacking, the half that Tartu is defending, to give themselves an opportunity, because I don't think Sky this quite have the firepower to march it up the whole 70 meters or 60, whatever, it's 64 meters, what is it these days, and to get the full hold.
Yeah, you can see that it's still really hammering it down here on the Belgian coast at EUCF. Smiles all round still to see teams warming up for their first games.
I think that was the 3SB Open team, hoping to do a little better than their female counterparts at the moment.
I'm interested to see how 3SB go, because I think in the past we saw them as, you know, maybe one of those teams who were looking to break into those medal positions. It never quite happened, and I think they're in a bit of a retooling phase at the moment.
Yeah, quite on the open side at least. A lot of the top Czech players are playing with other teams here at this tournament. Gentle has a couple of them. They're Andre Riedlow playing for Wall City, so sprinkling around a little bit.
Terra in the midfield, taking the reset. Oh, that one pops up. We're going to get a second opportunity at it. No, not, because Anna Vorsiewicz was making sure. So
Sky this with a bit of an opportunity here. About a little more than half field to work with. Still will be a tough challenge if Tartu just force them under. Sorry, force them deep. Cut off the unders.
You don't want to huck into this wind and this rain. Trying to get the leading dump backwards, but offline, and they've got a 3-on-3 by the end zone.
Just a miscommunication there in that dump. I don't think the receiver was expecting it at all to come in that direction.
And you're seeing that even what should be simple catches are being so tricky to stick. It's a good job Christian Luritz is wearing gloves, otherwise he'd have dropped it. Oh. Sorry, Rafi.
all of his throws were perfect.
I totally get why players wear gloves. I just found them weird. Stanisets looks at a reset, and ooh, off the hand and slapped away. Yannick Pello that time. And you're seeing how treacherous it is out there right now. Thank God the tent has walls. Christian Lauritz picks up. The throw hangs a little bit, and that allows the defender to run through and intercept. That's a really tough catch in these conditions. Well done, Krzysztof Litwinski.
You see how hard players are having to throw to get it upwind. You see that one blade completely even though he threw it pretty hard.
I mean, he really pumped that one. And now Laurit says, you know what, I've had enough of this. Let's put some air underneath it. Let's shoot for Terra, and let's just get it done. 12-6.
Pretty decent option. Shoot for Terra with float under it. Usually it'll work out for you, and it does for Tartu here. 12-6, doubling up on Warsaw, as there's about a little 12 minutes left on the clock, just about.
Yeah, I really like the shape of that throw, actually, from Laurit, because even though he wanted to get it out quickly, he still got the inside-out edge on it that allowed it to flatten out and hang, rather than we've seen a lot of that outside-in roll curve that just blades it and makes it so difficult to catch up to.
Yeah, we missed it here on the replay, but he has a high release on that one, which I think downwind is usually a great option. Discs are going to die downwind, so if you can get a high release with that nice edge that you mentioned on it, it'll be a lot more likely that it'll end up where you want it to go.
And where you want it to go is into those hands of Helen Terra.
Here we're going to see. I guess the release wasn't as high as I thought, but he did launch it pretty high.
Yeah, it's a slight upward
direction.
trajectory on it. Just sitting it on that wind, utilising it rather than trying to fight it. In a superb position at the moment, but they still have to close it out, do the Estonians. With 2 more tough games to come today. You want to get games wrapped up as quickly as possible. Give yourself the maximum possible rest. Backhand pull from Lemba. Fielded slightly awkwardly. Litvinsky swings into the centre for Madej, who Snood gets higher with every point. Tesco trying to get a reset off. Does well to lead Litvinsky into space there. And that time telegraphed it a little bit. But Madej thinks she had it.
At least there's a foul call. I'm not sure if she said she had possession, but saying that some contact, whether it was on the disc or on her arms, affected this one. Let's get another look at it here.
I'm not sure.
Looked clean from this angle.
And it does seem that they are treating that as a turnover. I think if you're not sure, call it, have the discussion, and then you can, if need to be, retract it. Tossing that one up, leading Lori Lauritz into space.
The other Lauritz.
No relation. Liliorg trying to find that scoring pass just a few meters away from Paydirt, looking to toe it the line, but Lepik wasn't able to do so. It's very cluttered and congested at the moment. Taking on the break, finding the score is is that Rab? No, that is the number 10, Marlene Varblas, I think.
Yeah, great point there for Tartu. I think the conditions did settle down a little bit for that one, so they took advantage of that and got the upwind point as you see the collapse onto the brake rocket for Tartu. But especially important in these conditions because if the wind picks back up again, those brakes can often turn into a double, as now they get the downwind side, and Sky that's going to have to work it up upwind, which they haven't managed to do, I don't believe, this half.
No, when the wind does die, you have to take the opportunities to get it in that upwind end zone when it picks back up. 13-6 Tartu lead, just 2 away from closing this one out.
Looks like they have not shifted the games to 13, as they are continuing to play.
Very good point.
Though we have been told that they have reduced the time limit to 80 minutes, not 90.
Yeah, it just allows a little bit more gap in between rounds and just, gives you that little bit of extra assurance that games are going to be able to finish on time.
Yeah, you never know if you're going to have one of those 20-minute wind points in the cap, and this allows for a little bit of that.
The sort of points that makes you very glad you're not playing anymore.
I am playing.
Although you are playing, and I'm going to get the chance to see you in action at the World Beach Ultimate Club Championships in Portimao next month, playing for UFO.
Correct, Benji. I'll be on stream first game.
I'm looking forward to that. The whole tournament and you being on stream.
The weather, I hope, will be nicer than this in Portimao.
If it's not, I'd be surprised.
The Tartu attacking on this downwind side. Sky that's not able to do it upwind again.
Nice leading throw of Lember to space, and as soon as it's in his hands, it's out again to Robin Lilleorg. 14-6 now, Tartu. Just accelerating away with this. Sky this, I think. They built up a slight head of steam at the start of the half, and now they are, just...
that pass there from Elite, I want to really point out, because that's super difficult to float into space downwind like that. So you lead your target downwind and make it so it's still catchable and has the right spin on it. Expert throw there from Elite, and that really opened the whole field up for Tartu as they go up 14-6.
And it's such a bountiful throw as well, because I love it as a handler when you're catching it. And because it's led in front of you and you're already receiving it, you're seeing the play develop downfield, and it means that you can get it out of your hands so quickly.
And your mark's catching up, so you even have no break. You have the free break option right away if you get it. And just all kinds of great stuff there from the throw set up by Elite.
Yeah, in the end, the scoring pass wasn't fancy, but it didn't need to be, because as we were talking about, you're catching it, already seeing that Lilleorg's making that cut down the line, and so why hang about? No time like the present. Just a little pop in to bring Tartu within one of the win.
Yeah, Warsaw with a mountain to climb right now if they want to get back in this one.
Any big mountains in Poland?
I think we have some mountains in Poland.
I must admit, my Polish geography isn't great. There aren't any mountains in Belgium.
Reading has taken the win 15-6 over Savage Ultimate. We'll see if the Warsaw outfit can get more than 6 on the board themselves, as Tartu hope to put a stop to this one right away so they can go get some warmth and some shelter before their next game.
Oh, yes. Especially when you get down to those crunch games, last game of the day. You know, how fresh everyone is, how much energy you've got left in those legs. That could well decide when the margins are tight. As that throw never really got going there from Zuzana Madej. Sky this tiring at the end.
Get the gloves. Throws in the rain are so much easier, and now we'll see Tartu gloveless there, going to Helen Terra, who does know about the gloves, and they take the win 15-6. So both Polish sides starting EUCF with a loss 15-6.
Yeah, there was a moment at the start of the second half where both sides held, and then Sky this got a break, and you thought, okay, are they going to make a game of this? And I think maybe that gave just Tartu that little jolt, the little jab in the sides of, okay, you know what? We need to sharpen things up here, and full credit to them. They put the last 6 in a row on the board to close this out with a 15-6 margin of victory that they looked very good value for, I think.
Yeah, I think we'll wrap this one up here. First round of play over, but don't go anywhere. We got lots of games in very entertaining conditions throughout the whole day. Pool play going to continue here in the next rounds with 3SB versus Quixote as an open, and BFD Shout versus LMU on the women's side. So you got 2 games to watch with commentary, and then 2 more VEO streams as well, or maybe not VEO streams next round.
I think we have the VEO streams, but they're not commentated in the next round.
Yeah.
And the commentary on the VEO stream starts in the 12:30 local time round of games, when you'll be able to see Tartu versus Nulact, and Reading versus Pook on the VO fields, and we'll have Disconnection versus Pelt and Moon Cup versus Catch Up on our streaming field. So that's what's going on for the first few rounds of the day. But final score here in first round of action at EUCF. This is Mixed Division Pool C, and it's Tartu Turbulence 15, Sky this Warszawa 6, and we'll see you on the other side.